Hey guys, it's the Joker here, back to you today with another video, and in today's video I just wanted to take the time to talk about here the fact that I really wish and do believe that Eminem should have released a Slim Shady LP2 album on, say, April 8 in the year 2003, when he would have been only 30 years old. Because, in my opinion and point of view, I feel like that would have made way more logical sense than Eminem releasing his Encore album, which he did on November 12 in the year of 2004 when he was 32 years old, even though he originally was going to release that album of his on November 16 in the year 2004. But the only reason he released it a little bit earlier is because his younger half-brother Nathan's friend, whoever Nathan's friend was, had found and leaked Eminem's Encore track list way back in 2004 before Eminem was finished with his Encore album. So it resulted in Eminem having to rush the final production of his Encore album and releasing it earlier than when he originally intended to release it. And it also made it so that he had to record 3 new songs, which were like really horrible and bad and just garbage and awful rap songs, on Eminem's part, because he was so heavily on drugs when he recorded these songs, which were My First Single, Rain Man, and Big Weenie. Because originally on his Encore album, he was supposed to have the songs We As Americans, Love You More, and Ricky Ticky Talk. And those 3 songs were supposed to be in place of where the songs My First Single, Rain Man, and Big Weenie are. The only reason why he did not put We As Americans Love You More and Ricky Ticky Talk on his Encore album is because the track listing was leaked, no thanks to his younger half-brother Nathan's friend. Not Nathan, but Nathan's friend. And then he had to put the songs We As Americans, Love You More, and Ricky Ticky Talk on a deluxe edition of his Encore album, which is really unfortunate because if all of that had not happened, then there's no denying the fact that his Encore album would have been a great rap album. I mean, literally. And if that would have been the case, Eminem would not have only had 3 great rap albums in his rap career, but he would have had 4. And I also feel that he would have probably, if anything, been way more respected as an MC and as a rapper if he had 4 great rap albums in a row instead of only just 3, which is really unfortunate. And it's just such a pity and tragic and heartbreaking that happened. It's just absolutely crushing. But I just feel like it would have made way more logical sense for Eminem to have released a Slim Shady LP2 album. And the reason I say that is because here's the thing. He has 3 personalities, as we all know. Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, and Eminem. And with his first 3 albums, his Slim Shady LP album, Marshall Mathers LP album, and Eminem Show album, those 3 albums of his, those 3 first rap albums of his that he released as a famous rapper, were all based around, each of his 3 personalities. Obviously, his Slim Shady LP album was completely based around his Slim Shady alter ego in personality. His Marshall Mathers LP album was based around his Marshall Mathers personality, the man behind the whole mask. And his Eminem Show album was obviously and of course based around his Eminem personality, which is his main, stage name as a famous rapper. And there was this interesting interview of Eminem in 2002 after releasing his Eminem Show album where he was talking about, on a bus, his 3 personalities. And he was he said something like, Slim Shady will kill you and your mom, Eminem will kill you, or something. and then Marshall Mathers is the man behind the whole mask. And so knowing that he only has 3 personalities, which I would say is way more than most rappers do. I mean, that's one thing that we have to all like keep in mind and consider when it comes to Eminem as a rapper. Because most rappers obviously only have like one name and then maybe an alter ego. Like Nicki Minaj has Roman for her alter ego. And I mean, not every rapper has an alter ego, but some of them do, obviously. But even when it comes to the rappers who have alter egos, they don't have like usually as many as Eminem. And he doesn't have like alter egos, but I would say Slim Shady and Eminem are his alter ego since his real name is Marshall Mathers. But Eminem is his stage name and Slim Shady is his alter ego. But those are still his 3 personalities though. And when he released each of those first 3 albums of his in his early rap career, those 3 albums of his were based around those 3 different personalities of his. And after his Eminem Show album, I feel like, at least in my opinion, this is just the way I personally feel. And if you disagree, fine. But if you disagree, I don't even know why you would bother watching this video. I don't know why you would waste your time being here and, commenting down in this section. If you cannot understand where I'm coming from or like see my point of view or, agree with my opinion, you can go elsewhere. But anyways, after his Eminem Show album, I feel like it would have made complete and total perfect sense for him to have released another Slim Shady LP album, a Slim Shady LP2 album on April 8 in the year 2003 when he would have been only 30 years old and still obviously young, as in his early 30s young. And I'm sure a lot of his fans probably wish he would have released a sequel. I mean, I think that would have made sense. I really do. Like, honestly, I don't see why he didn't. It doesn't make any logical sense to me as an Eminem stan that Eminem would not have, thought of or tried to release a Slim Shady LP2 sequel rap album to his first Slim Shady LP album from 1999, and obviously coming out a certain amount of years after the first one or the original one. And, when he would have been 4 years older than when he released his first one. And it would have been awesome if when he did release a Slim Shady LP2 album, if he had, hypothetically speaking, if he would have still been young when he would have done so, as in his early 30s. I mean, that would have been a dream come true. And, the depressing thing about this is that I can only wish that he would have done so. I can only wish he would have done that. And I would have loved it if he would have done that more than anything, more than any of you could ever possibly understand. And, for his Slim Shady LP2 album, if he would have made and released one, which he definitely should have, and there's no denying that fact, and obviously, and of course, releasing it on April 8 in the year 2003 when he would have been only 30 years old. Obviously, he would have had to have a cover. And I would say for a Slim Shady LP2 album cover, he could have had something like really cool and dope, such as, maybe his car that he has on the cover of his first Slim Shady LP album. He could have had that same car for the sequel, for his Slim Shady LP2 album. He could have had a dead woman in the trunk, or like maybe in the ground that he would be burying. And he could be in like some like creepy haunted looking woods. And like the color of the album could be like a funky pinkish purplish color, just like on his first Slim Shady LP album. Obviously a moon in the sky. maybe stars, maybe some clouds or something like that. Maybe Haley could also be on the cover of his Slim Shady LP2 album if he wanted her to be. And either he could have had like a woman in the dirt that he would be about to be burying, like maybe have like a pile of dirt that he dug up and then have like a shovel sticking in it, and then maybe have Haley like as a little kid playing in the dirt or something, and then just have Eminem standing near his car or maybe leaning up against his car making some badass expression or something in looking at the camera. I don't know. Or, he could have had a Slim Shady LP2 album cover where he would have that car maybe like parked in front of a 7-Eleven, like some sort of ghetto shit, like hood type of shit album cover, and obviously a dead woman in the trunk to kind of replicate that whole like aesthetic or whatever that he has on his first Slim Shady LP album. I mean, that would have only made sense. And maybe have Eminem like sitting on the hood of his car, or maybe just leaning up against it on the side or something like that, and then have like a moon in the sky and maybe clouds or some shit like that. Or the last Slim Shady LP2 album cover that I could think of as an Eminem stan is maybe one where he has like a Jason ski mask on, just like he used to have when he was like 27 in the early 2000s when he released his Marshall Mathers LP album. He actually did that in both like the year 2000 and 2001. I think he stopped doing it in 2002, but he could have done something like that, and he could have like maybe had his car parked in some sort of creepy haunted looking alleyway, and then he could have obviously had a moon in the sky, of course, and obviously, and then like he could have been carrying a chainsaw and maybe, I don't know, some dead woman or women on like the road, like surrounding him or some shit like that, to be like really dark and controversial, which is definitely something that he would have done, especially when he was a young rapper. I mean, he would definitely done something like that. And it's just really heartbreaking and crushing, and really is a pity and unfortunate that he didn't, release a Slim Shady LP2 album, even though he could have. I personally don't see any reason why he couldn't have made and released a Slim Shady LP2 album. But, apparently I've seen some guys talking about that on the internet before. Actually, no, it was a guy who talked to me apparently one time, and I can't remember what video it was on, but it was in the comment section of this like one Eminem video, and he was telling me that he read some like magazine interview from 2005, actually, way back in 2005, and at the time Eminem would have been 32 for most of 2005, where Eminem was giving like a magazine interview saying that his record label company, Shady Records, apparently or allegedly or supposedly did not want him to release a Slim Shady LP2 album. They didn't want him to, which, if that really is the case, and if that really happened, that's fucking bullshit. I mean, literally, it's fucking bullshit that Eminem did not have any say in that, especially knowing and considering the fact that that's his fucking record label company. It's his. He founded that record label company after all, so why the fuck wouldn't he be able to do what he wants with his rap albums, or like release a rap album that he himself wants to, even if his record label company doesn't want him to? Or maybe it was Interscope. I don't know. But apparently it was his record label company, Shady Records, the record label company that he himself founded, that is his, that belongs to him, or at least that should be his and belong to him. But apparently it doesn't. Because if he wanted to release a Slim Shady LP2 album, but didn't because his own record label company didn't want him to, then that just goes to show and proves that he's not really like the owner of his record label company. If he's not really able to do what he wants ultimately, which is really fucked up. And I hate that. And, that just pisses me off. It pisses me the fuck off. And that is literally bullshit. That is bullshit. And so no wonder why he released his Encore album like he did, because his record label company didn't want him to release a Slim Shady LP album sequel, which is really fucking stupid and just dumb and retarded and ridiculous. And, it's pathetic. It's unfair. It's unfair. Not only is it unfair to Eminem, knowing that he wasn't able to do that, all because his record label told him not to and told him that they didn't want him to, and that to them that wouldn't have made any sense. And I don't know, maybe they were even really hard on him to not make and release a Slim Shady LP album sequel, and maybe they prevented him somehow. I don't know. But, also it's unfair to his fans, and especially stans who I know for an all-around fact would have loved to have had and gotten a Slim Shady LP album sequel, especially still in the early 2000s, and still while he would have been, young and in his youth, and maybe at the oldest in his early 30s. And, it's just so sad that he wasn't able to do that. And, it would have also made sense for him to have released a Slim Shady LP2 album sequel when he would have still been on drugs, because his Slim Shady alter ego is obviously and of course supposed to be the evil side and version of Eminem. Ultimately, Slim Shady is supposed to be his twisted, dark, violent, really just evil and wicked alter ego of Eminem. It's a part of him. It's his evil twin. And one of the things about Slim Shady, one of the known facts about that alter ego of Eminem's is the fact that Slim Shady as an alter ego, as a character, is a drug addict, a major drug addict, and just on every drug that you could possibly imagine. And back then in the early 2000s, Eminem was really heavily on drugs. So it would have made the most sense for Eminem to have released a Slim Shady LP2 album sequel while he would have still been on drugs, and also while he would have still been young and in his youth. And I mean, that would have just been a dream come true for me. And not just for me, but all of his fans, and especially stans, ultimately. That would have been extremely thoughtful, considerate, and generous of him to have done on his part. And it would have just been so fucking awesome and amazing and incredible and fantastic and outstanding and out of this world if he would have been able to do that. And if only he would have been able to. And he should have. He should have. It's bullshit that he wasn't able to. It's fucking bullshit. I just want to say really quick here that part of the reason I'm stammering is because it's really cold out today. So just please bear with me. I know it seems like I'm mumbling or stammering or whatever, but I am really cold. It's really cold today, even though it's not snowing, at least not yet. But it's colder than a motherfucker, as some people would phrase it. It's cold as fuck. I'm freezing here. I'm shaking, literally. And I'm pretty sure it's not that, hard to believe or imagine that or understand that. But anyways, continuing on to the video, and I'm almost done. The last thing I want to say and mention before I stop this video is that on Eminem's Slim Shady LP2 album sequel, if he would have made and released one, hypothetically speaking, in the early 2000s on exactly April 8 of 2003, when Eminem himself would have been only 30 years old. If he would have done that, then as far as like rap features would have gone or been on his Slim Shady LP2 album sequel, again, hypothetically speaking here, obviously he could have had D12, which obviously he would have, but then he could have also had like Royce da 5'9", The Outsiders, 50 Cent, maybe also some of the members of G Unit, or like a song featuring the members of G Unit, Dr. Dre, of course, and obviously. One thing that would have been great for a Slim Shady LP2 album sequel is to have like more mainstream features such as like Nas, Jay-Z, Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, Nate Dogg, Snoop Dogg. Let's see. Maybe some other like old school rappers that Eminem has not really ever collaborated with. One collaboration that would have been perfect for a Slim Shady LP2 album sequel is an Eminem featuring Rakim song, an Eminem featuring LL Cool J song. That would have been an absolute dream come true, especially knowing that that never happened. Let's see, maybe a Eminem featuring Beyonce song when he would have been young, and when like Beyonce like really started to take off as a famous R&B artist. Maybe Eminem featuring Mary J. Blige or some shit like that. And you know, features such as that, like I just said. So like D12, Royce da 5'9", The Outsiders, 50 Cent, G Unit, Dr. Dre, Nate Dogg, Snoop Dogg, Rakim, LL Cool J, Mary J. Blige, Beyonce, Busta Rhymes, Jay-Z. Let's see. In like rappers such as that, like I mentioned, Exbizzit, for example. So pretty much features like that, and more, of course. But I would say that would definitely already be a pretty like good chunk of features. So that would have probably been enough, or more than enough even. And it would have been best for Eminem to limit the skits on his Slim Shady LP2 album to just 4 skits, and then 16 of the tracks be actual like tracks worth of rap songs, so that at least he would have had, 16 tracks worth of actual songs that would have been rap songs and not skits. And then just 4 of the skits have been 4 of the tracks have been skits, so in total 20 tracks. And then a deluxe edition, definitely, and of course. And on his deluxe edition of his Slim Shady LP2 album have 4 extra additional songs, so that way he could have had 20 rap songs in total, in a grand total. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say in today's video. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I'm out.